Earlier this year, at 37 years old, I left my apartment, my routine, and a 5-year relationship, and I booked a one-way ticket to Bali. This was not a perfectly planned move by any means, but it was a moment of truth, and something for me needed to change. In this video, I want to share with you why I left and some of the biggest lessons that I've learned since taking this leap. Since being here in Bali, I've had a lot of time to reflect, and one of the things that I realized was how much my life shifted because of COVID. And I bring this up because I feel like a lot of people can resonate with this. Right before COVID, I had just attended a travel photography boot camp in New Zealand, and I left that boot camp feeling super motivated and inspired and determined to start pitching companies and chasing assignments and booking travel jobs. And I almost had one lined up for me to go to Alaska, actually, on a press trip. And then, like for everyone else, the world shut down and travel wasn't an option anymore. At the same time, I was also starting a new relationship. And so my life pivoted. I focused on my partner. I found steady work as a remote video editor. And I just worked on nesting and building a safe, comfortable, and fairly predictable life. But somewhere along the way, I realized that I wasn't building a life that I really wanted. Yes, there were definitely things that I loved about my life and some things that I wouldn't change, but it just didn't feel quite aligned in the way that I had wanted. And that dream of mine that I had before COVID was still there. I just wasn't chasing that anymore. I'm not trying to fully blame the pandemic because eventually the world opened back up and travel was a thing again, and I could have chased that dream then, but I was just in a different headspace, and I don't think I really knew exactly how that looked for me moving forward. So when my partner and I had the conversation about our relationship not working out, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do next, but the thought of moving into another apartment and just continuing life mostly as it was just did not feel right. It did not excite me. And that's when I had the thought, well, maybe I'll travel again. Maybe I will go get a reset and a change of scenery and see how that feels. As I've talked about before, Bali has been on my mind ever since I first visited back in 2018, and I've been wanting to return. And so when I finally made the decision to come back here, shortly after was when I also had the idea to start this YouTube channel. Starting YouTube is not the same exact dream that I had pre-COVID, but it's still very similar in terms of travel and photography and filmmaking and storytelling. So I booked a one-way ticket to Bali to reset my life and try something new. And before I get into the top 3 lessons that I want to share with you, I just want to preface that this isn't the first time I've done something like this. I have lived abroad before, and I have backpacked solo before for many months at a time, but this is the first time I've done something like this in 5 years. And while it does get a little bit easier each time you do something like this, there are still a lot of challenges along the way, but I think it's still incredibly worth it. Okay, so lesson 1, discomfort is where the growth happens. And boy, did I have a lot of discomfort the first couple months being out here. It's not like it was constantly bad. Like, I had some beautiful moments, I had some great weeks, but then I'd have an off few days. Like, it was just a roller coaster of a ride. I was moving around a lot. I was dealing with the pain of my relationship being over. I also had the pressure of wanting to start this YouTube channel. And then I was also trying to film myself, which was so uncomfortable and something new for me, while I was also moving around a lot. And so I wasn't quite sure what I was trying to film. And it was messy and very uncomfortable, but discomfort is how we grow. Being in these uncomfortable moments was so challenging and so confronting, but it forces you to look inward and really be honest with yourself about what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and who you are when everything that is familiar to you just falls away. And I think in these moments, we become more resilient. And so if you're waiting for that moment to feel 100% ready, you might not get to that point of feeling fully ready. And the clarity that you're seeking will come after you take the leap. Lesson number 2 is presence beats perfection. I think so many of us, including myself, want that perfect trip. We want to stay in the perfect place. We want to make the perfect video. We want that perfect level of confidence before we start something. Travel and life will shatter that illusion. Plans will fall apart, weather may disrupt your day, you might get sick or miss your connecting flight, like things will go wrong. But it's often these kind of messy, unplanned moments that can sometimes be the most memorable. But I do try to remind myself whenever something is not going my way or is out of my control, I try to ask, why is this happening for me? For me, I kept waiting for that perfect idea, that perfect level of comfort to launch my YouTube channel. And then I had an accident that literally forced me to slow down. And that's when I finally started my first video. Exactly where I was right in that moment, which was this villa that I just moved into. And the video wasn't perfect, but it was simple and it was real and it was coming from this moment of presence. Lesson number 3 is that the plan will change, and that's the point. I initially thought I was going to be traveling around Bali, maybe even traveling around other parts of Indonesia. I thought I'd be making films along the way. I thought they'd be more like educational and my experience in certain destinations. But instead, I've mostly been here in Ubud. I have gotten into a creative rhythm, and my videos are a lot more personal than I thought they would be. But I actually kind of love how this has all unfolded because it just feels more authentic. It feels more me, and it's also just more manageable for me to do it this way, which I think is also an extension of my truth because I needed to feel a sense of grounding as I create. So I think just remember, you don't have to have the whole plan figured out. You don't have to know the ending. You just want to keep taking inspired action and let the story unfold and surprise you. Leaving wasn't about escaping my old life. It was about choosing a life that felt more like me and designing a life that feels like my truth. If you're thinking about doing something similar or making a change or making a big leap, maybe this is your sign. Maybe take this as inspiration and just know that you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to start. I hope this was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions about anything or if there's something else that you'd like me to talk about. I think I will try to be doing some more of these direct-to-camera type videos, but I'll also be doing some of the more cinematic storytelling ones as well. And if you're new here and you haven't seen what daily life looks like in Bali, specifically Ubud, I'll link that video at the end. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.